Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to be making the Linda bag, and I am so excited to bring this video to you guys today because this is dedicated and inspired by the woman that I love so much. And this video is going to be a little bit hard for me to get through because Linda is my mom's name. Now unfortunately my mom has passed away. Last year I did create a pattern for her when she was battling rectal cancer, and my mom had went through the cancer removal process, and during the recovery my mom just declined rapidly, and my mom passed away August 6th of 2018. Now I dedicated this pattern to my mom because my mom was a big crochet lover. As far as purses go, my mom always had a crochet bag. If she did not have a crochet bag with her, I was very surprised. She loved to wear beanies and gloves and anything that had to do with crochet, being that she used to be a crocheter herself back in her early teenage days. And my mom was very supportive of my crocheting. She thought I was incredibly talented, and she did not even know how I had the patience to do this, because I even asked her one day, I said, why don't you crochet anymore? She said, I just don't have the patience to do it anymore. But my mom said, I want you to make me a crochet bag. And she told me, she said, you know, Mija, I want something that's not too open. I want it to look a little lacy, and I want shells to be on my purse. And she said, I want it messenger style. And she said, I want drawstrings on my bag. And that's what I did here. When I was creating this pattern one night, I was up thinking about her, and I said, you know what, I want to dedicate a pattern to my mom, but what do I make? And I thought, oh my god, she wanted me to make a bag for her, and I didn't get to make it for her because I was so swamped, you know, taking her to chemo, you know, spending time with my mom, my family. And I had rapidly declined uploading content and patterns for you guys because I was just so focused on my mom's fate and what was going to happen. And now that I have time to do so, I am putting out more and more patterns for you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and please give it a thumbs up. Today's yarn, I am going to be using the Premier Everyday Anti-Peeling 100% acrylic yarn. You are going to need at least 2 balls if you are going to be using the same yarn, and you will need at least 360 yards. You can use any yarn that your heart desires. You can use any weight that you'd like to use. You can use a 4, a 5, or even a 6 in weight if you guys wanted to. And this is just a 4, so feel free to use whatever yarn you want. For today's hook, I am going to be using a J 5.75 millimeter crochet hook. I would say if you don't have this hook, just use a J 10 6 millimeter crochet hook. To begin, you want to start with a slip knot. You want to now chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now that we have chain 4, you want to slip stitch to the very first chain. So go into the very first chain. And what I like to do is take the straggler and put it behind, and then yarn over and slip stitch through to create a circle. You want to chain up 3, and what we want to do now is put 14 double crochets into the ring, and this chain 3 does count as your very first double crochet. So with the chain 3 and 14 additional double crochets, you want to have 15 double crochets all the way around. So I am going to be putting my first double crochet of 14. And as you start working your double crochets all the way around, you will start running out of room, and what you want to do is just kind of scoot it over by pulling it to the right more. So I currently have 12 double crochets. There's 13, 14, and there is going to be my 15th double crochet. Okay, so count all the way around and ensure that you have 15 double crochets all the way around. And we want to end this round by slip stitching to the top of the chain 3. And we have ended round 1. Round 2, we are going to chain up 3, and we are going to put 2 double crochets all the way around. This chain 3 counts as a double crochet, so what we want to do is put an additional double crochet into this spot right here. So there's our first 2 double crochets, and into the next stitch right there we're going to put another set of double crochets. There's 1, there's 2, and then we are going to repeat this all the way around for round 2, putting 2 double crochets. You should have 30 double crochets all the way around. For round 3, we are going to begin by chaining up 3, and this counts as a double crochet. And what we want to do is into the very next stitch, which is right here, because here's our chain 3, into this second stitch right here, we are going to put an increase of 2 double crochets. So there's 1, and then we want to add an additional stitch into there. Put 1 double crochet into the next stitch, into the very next stitch put an increase of 2 double crochets. And that is going to be the repeat here on throughout this round. For round 3, putting 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, and at the end of this round we want to have 45 double crochets all the way around. Okay, so we've come to the end of round 3, and we have ended with 45 double crochets all the way around, and we want to slip stitch to the top of the chain 3 to close that round. My son always likes to come in and out of the room to check on me. It's cute. Okay, so we are moving on to round 4, and for round 4 we are going to also increase and start with a chain 3 as usual, and we are going to do a double crochet into this next stitch because this chain 3 already counts as a double crochet. So into that next stitch put 1 double crochet. Into the next stitch after we are going to increase with 2 double crochets. Into the next 2 stitches put 1 double crochet. There's 1, and then 2. Into the next stitch after we are going to put 2 double crochets. So this is going to be the repeat here on and throughout. So I am going to leave you guys to it. I am going to continue to put 1 double crochet into the first 2 stitches, and then I will increase with 2 double crochets. Okay, so I will be back as soon as I come to the end. We have come to the end of round 4, and we are going to be closing this round at the top of the chain 3. For round 5, we are going to be chaining up 3, and this is going to be our very last round of increasing because we are going to start working on the body of the bag after this. we want to put 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. So there's 1 and 2, and this makes 3 double crochets because the chain 3 counts as a stitch. So we then want to put an increase of 2 double crochets into the following stitch after. Put 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches. There's 1, 2, and 3. And then increase with 2 double crochets. You then want to put 1 double crochet into the following 3 double crochets. 3 stitches. And then followed by that, you want to put 2 double crochets after that. So this is going to be the repeat all the way around, putting 1 double crochet into the first 3 stitches, and then you will increase with 2 double crochets after that. For this round, at the end, you will have 75 double crochets all the way around. We are now beginning round 6, and we are going to chain up 3. And this round is going to be easy because we are not increasing anymore. So what we're going to do is put 1 double crochet all the way around your work, and instead of working through both loops, we are going to work through the back loop only, just like that. So these will poke out in the end, and we're going to be working our shells through those in the end of our video. So we really want to make sure that we're working in the back loop only. And if you don't want the shells on the bottom, you could just work through normally through both loops. See how those stitches in the front are starting to stick out? It's going to give a line. So I'm going to continue this off camera, and you should continue to work 1 double crochet all the way around in the back loop only, and we will have 75 double crochets all the way around. We are now going to be closing round 6 with a slip stitch to the top of the chain 3. To begin round 7, chain up 3. And we are just going to put 1 double crochet all the way around normally, and we are working in both loops. Continue to work in this fashion, putting 1 double crochet all the way around for round 7, and I will come back to join you as soon as I come to the end. So I just wanted to mention that as you go along, your work will kind of curl up, and it's also going to start becoming more and more round. So that is completely normal. Don't think that anything's wrong with your work. It's actually really good. It sends a good message to us when our work starts curling like so. You see how it's like doing its thing? I've come to the end of round 7, and I'm just going to chain up 3 because we are moving on to round 8. Round 8 is just a repeat of round 7, just putting 1 double crochet all the way around. And I failed to mention that in the last round, that you would just be repeating round 7 and 8 as the same, just putting a chain 3 and then a double crochet all the way around. Okay, so I've come to the end of round 8. We just did 1 double crochet all the way around through both loops, and we are moving on to round 9. For round 9, you are just going to start off by chaining up 3. You will then skip the next double crochet and go into the following double crochet, which is right there. That is the 3rd double crochet. Okay, so that's our first double crochet, second, and then there's the 3rd. We are going to go into the 3rd double crochet with a V-stitch, which is a double crochet, a chain 1, and it is another additional double crochet all into one stitch. You will then skip the next 2 double crochets and move on to the third following double crochet after. So skip 1, 2, and then that third stitch you will jump to that stitch, and you will put a V-stitch, which is a double crochet, a chain 1, and another double crochet all into one stitch. Skip the next 2 stitches and into the following stitch after, repeat that, putting a double crochet, a chain 1, and another double crochet all into the same stitch. Now this is going to be the repeat here on and throughout this round only. So it's going to be for round 9, you are going to put a V-stitch and then skip 2 stitches and then put another V-stitch after, which is again a double crochet, chain 1, and another double crochet all into the same stitch. Okay, so if you have a hard time remembering what a V-stitch is, please read my description box for what a V-stitch is, so I don't have to keep repeating double crochet, chain 1, and another double crochet, because sometimes I get a little tongue twisted. So what we're going to do is refer to it as a V-stitch only, okay? So I'm going to repeat this all the way around, and I will come back as soon as I come to the end. And when you come to the end, you will have 3 double crochets left, and you will end with a V-stitch. So we are going to be closing round 9, and we are now beginning round 10. So what we are going to be doing for round 10 is putting 3 double crochets in between this V-stitch. Okay, we are then going to jump to the next stitch, which is this V-stitch right here, and we are going to put 3 double crochets. And that's basically it for this round. We are just going between every V-stitch, and we are working 3 double crochets all the way around. Okay, so we've come to the end of round 10, and we are going to move on to round 11. We are going to start off with a chain 3 as usual. Now we are just going to be putting 1 double crochet all the way around into every double crochet that is in between these V-stitches. So that's where we'll put our first double crochet, and then we are going to move on to the second double crochet, and then this third one. Now I just wanted to mention at the end of this round you will have 76 double crochets when normally we should have 75, and that's because of this chain 3 and because of all the 3 double crochets. So you are going to continue to put 1 double crochet all the way around. I'm going to continue this off camera, and I will come back as soon as I come to the end. Okay, so I've come to the end of round 11, and I just wanted to come back on camera and tell you guys that this is going to be the repeat. You are just going to keep repeating rounds 9, 10, 11 from round 12 all the way into the end of round 25. So next round, which will be 12, you'll begin with the V-stitch all over. And I wanted to go over this round really quick with you guys because the ending of rounds 12, 15, round 18, round 21, and round 24, which are all going to be V-stitch rounds, and I'll explain that in a minute, are going to end very differently than the first round where we did round 9. So I'm going to do this last round with you on round 12, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about because you're going to experience this for those rounds that I just stated. So for round 12, you're going to chain up 3, and you're going to skip the next stitch and jump to this next stitch right here, which is going to be that third. And you're going to repeat the same thing, just doing a V-stitch, which is a double crochet, a chain 1, and another double crochet. And you're just going to repeat all the way around, skipping 2 stitches and then jumping to that 3rd stitch, and then repeat a V-stitch. Okay, so I want you guys to repeat that all the way around for round 12. And I'm going to come back on camera because I'm going to show you and demonstrate what I'm talking about for rounds 9, 15, 18, 21, and 24. And I'm going to show you how to get by those rounds. So I'll be back in a minute as soon as I come to the end and repeat this. So what you want to do at the end of round 12 is pretty much pretend like this last stitch isn't there. We normally should have 3 double crochets, but because of us evening out our work with these double crochets, it gives us an additional double crochet. So instead of 75 stitches, we actually have 76. So what we want to do is pretend like the stitch isn't here. We want to skip these next 2 stitches, and into this second stitch before the last, you're going to do a V-stitch. And then you're going to skip the very last stitch, that stitch, just bypass it. And you are going to go about your business and close up the round, and then continue on to round 10. Not round 10, but you're going to continue round 13 and just repeat basically round 10, which is those 3 double crochets. So on this notepad, I do have it written down on what round you should be doing on what round. So we already did round 12, which we did round 9. For the next round, which is round 13, we will repeat round 10, which is the 3 double crochets, and then we'll move on to round 14, which is 1 double crochet all the way around. So you're going to work round 13 all the way into the end of round 25, and then once we get to round 26, you're going to come back and return to my video, so then we can continue the ending of the bag, because that's what that is. We are ending the bag right here. I've come to the end of round 25, and you want to slip stitch to the top of the chain 3, and we are now moving on to round 26. Now round 26 is our last round for our purse / bag. What we want to do is chain up 4, 3, and 4. So next, what we want to do is put 1 treble crochet into every stitch around. So like normally we were doing double crochets after the 3 double crochets between the V stitches. So the purpose of us doing this is because we are going to be putting some drawstrings. Okay, so you want to wrap around twice on your hook, and what you want to do is do a treble crochet, and this is in US terms. Wrap around twice on your hook, go into the following stitch after, wrap around twice, go through the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. It's a very tall stitch. So we are going to keep repeating this for round 26, putting 1 treble crochet all the way around. Okay, I've come all the way around doing 1 treble crochet all the way around, and when you come to the end, you want to join to the top of the chain 4. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so what you want to do now is chain 1 and finish off. So this is what our work is looking like so far, and right here is where we finished off. As you can see, there's my tail. So what you want to do, you can put it on any side that you want. So you can put it on the right side if you want to. If you like this side better, go ahead and flip your work, but I like this side better. So what I'm going to do is pull my chain 3 to the side so you cannot see it. So it's going to be sitting this way. So I'm going to put my straps on each corner right here. So when I'm out in public, you know, you cannot see the chain 3s because they're on the side. So what I'm going to do is start on the straps because they take a lot of time to do. So with that said, you can join anywhere you want. I'm going to join, so here's our tail. You might want to leave the tail out so you can see the tail. So I'm going to join. So here's the chain 4 where we finished off. There's 1, 2, 3. So 3 stitches down. I'm going to put my hook through there and I'm going to join with a little knot right here. And what I'm going to do is chain up 1 and I'm going to half double crochet into the same stitch, and I'm going to half double crochet into the next 6 stitches. We want a total of 7. For row 2, chain 1 and turn your work, and then you are going to put a half double crochet into the first stitch, and we will be chaining 1 always when we are beginning any row, and it doesn't count as our first stitch, and so obviously we have to put our first stitch into there, and we're just putting 1 half double crochet across. So don't forget to get the last stitch, chain 1 and turn your work. Okay, so we're on row 3 and we chain 1, put 1 double crochet, sorry, 1 half double crochet into that stitch, and we are putting 1 half double crochet across. So you're going to continue working this strap as long as you want. I'm working from row 3 all the way until the end of row 77. I might make it a little shorter. On the original pattern that I have done, I did 77, but if you find that the strap is already too long for you, you can always just finish off wherever you want to. Just make sure that it's on a wrong side, and then, you know, obviously you have to sew on the other side right here. So leave a long enough tail. So I'm going to continue to work this, you know, until I get the strap length that I want. You can go ahead and do so. You don't have to do all the way to 77. You can do it to 70. You can do it to 60. Whatever you feel comfortable with, please do so. And I will be back as soon as we get the strap. I have worked until 75. I decided not to do a full 77 and on a right side. And what you are going to do is finish off. I already have finished off. I cut a really long tail, and that's what you want to do because we're going to be slip stitching to join, or even single crocheting to join. It's whatever you want. It's the same thing. It's just, you know, sometimes we tend to want to connect things a different way. And what we are going to do is my purse is on the right side, so this is like the outer part of the bag. What you want to do now is take your bag and put it inside out, and I'm going to tell you in a minute why. It's very important to put it inside out. So make sure that you turn and twist this. So this is actually the right side, this is the wrong side. So now that our bag's inside out, you definitely want it facing the right side. So before it was facing right side, now we're going to turn our work and it's going to be on the wrong side. So this is my trick. This is how I like to do things. I like to half my work, and this is how I do my beanies too, especially when they have flaps. If you can't tell where to place them, put it in half. So now that we have our work placed in half, we know and have a guide of where to slip stitch to join. So begin with a chain 1 and then turn it right side, yarn over, And then what I like to do is then put my hook into the stitch that I want to connect to, and then pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2. And then I'm going to continue to half double crochet to join to my bag. And I like doing this inside out because when you turn it outward, you're not going to be able to tell how I connected it unless you actually look in the bag. And once you've done that, you want to chain 1 and finish off. And I really suggest not fully pulling this down yet and tucking in your ends. So you want to turn your work inside out to make sure that both sides line up. Once you have checked your sides and everything is correct, what you want to do now is just tuck in your ends. So I'm going to take a really long tail, and I mean a really long tail. You're going to need a lot of it because, one, we're using a bigger size hook, and we are also using a lot of yarn to chain. So create a slip knot with both strands of yarn, leaving a semi-long tail with your crochet hook. You can do as many chains as you want, and to be honest, you don't even have to use a bigger size hook. This is my choice to do so, and you can even use a 6mm crochet hook if you want to. I'm using a 9mm crochet hook. So just make a long enough chain to go around the bag, and don't be fooled if you use the 6mm crochet hook, because it will look like it's long enough, but honestly it's not, because you have to weave in and out. And I made the mistake of making a small chain. I think I did like 100, and it was not big enough. So continue to make a chain, a really long chain, and then we will come back and we will weave our drawstring around the bag. And now what you want to do is just pull that through, and then you want to just pull that down just to make a really long knot. And then what I like to do is take both strings, match them up together, and then I like to clip and make them match. And that's how that looks. So now we are going to be taking our drawstring and we're going to weave that through. And you can pick anywhere that you want. And this is something that's wide enough for you to do with your hands. You don't have to use a hook or anything. I'm going to do it about right here. And you can just kind of estimate where you want to put it through. So just pinch that through, and I'm skipping 1 stitch and then I'm drawing it through. So there's another stitch, you're going to skip that and go underneath the other one. Okay, I'm going to skip this next stitch and go into the second one and weave that through with your hand. Okay, so you guys pretty much get it. We're just weaving this through every other stitch. So I'm going to continue to weave this through off camera. Skip that stitch, and then I will come back on camera as soon as I come to the end. That's pretty much the drawstring portion of the bag. Like I said, you can tie it however you want to. Once you've closed it, it's going to definitely minimize the top portion. I am going to begin attaching my yarn to where the chain 3s are from round 6. And what you want to do is just stick your hook through there, or just join your yarn however you want to. I like to just make a little knot and our work is upside down, so the drawstrings are facing me, okay, and our work is upside down. To begin, you are just going to chain up 1, and you are going to single crochet into the same stitch. You are then going to skip 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and you're going to yarn over and go into the stitch after we've skipped 2, and we are going to put 5 double crochets into the same stitch. Now, I believe this is considered a 5 double crochet cluster. Well, they refer to it as a cluster. 1, 2, 3. There is 4 and 5. We will then skip the next 2 stitches, 1 and 2, jump to this stitch right here with 5 double crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, there's 4 and 5. You want to skip 2 stitches again, so skip 1 and 2 and jump to this stitch right here with a single crochet. So that is going to be the repeat for the bottom, where you single crochet, skip 2 stitches, put a 5 double crochet cluster, skip 2 stitches again, and put a single crochet. So you want to continue this all the way around until we come to the end. When you come to the end, you will end with a 5 double crochet cluster, and what you want to do is slip stitch to the first single crochet that we made in the beginning, chain 1, and finish off. To make the bottom to help take its shape for the bottom of the purse, what I did was I worked rounds 1 through 5 and finished off with a really long tail. I made 2 of them. So what I went ahead and did was I purchased a round plastic canvas that measures 9.3 inches all the way around. Cut around the plastic canvas until I measured 7 to 7.5 inches around. And what you want to do is take one side panel on each side, put the plastic canvas in the middle, and take the other side of the panel, place it almost like a sandwich, take these 2 sides and sew them together, and so then that way the plastic sits between it. So then that way when you put the lining inside of your purse, you have this to put on the bottom before doing that, and then that way your purse can take shape. And there we have it. There is our finished and completed work. I hope you guys enjoyed this pattern and this video. If you guys did, please do give me a big thumbs up on this video, leave a comment, and also do not forget to subscribe to my channel.